Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with Mystic Genmara. I am a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And make sure I've got everything up and running because I've been having fun times with that here lately. So tonight I was thinking about this for the past couple days. I just needed to dig out my notes because I have had a little bit of training in this area as well, and I wanted to make sure that I could bring forward, accurate information. So, make sure, looks like everything's up and running. Okay, let's check, make sure Odyssey's going. No, not that. So how's everyone's week? It's finally Saturday. We can take a couple minutes to relax and just, take a deep breath, which is what I think we're all looking forward to on most days anymore. Bring up, there it is. Okay. So, one of the first things that I learned when I started on my spiritual journey, and I feel like I'm washing out there, is days of the week and intention setting that works with that. So when I talk about days of the week, it's something that's actually been tied to metaphysics and mysticism for centuries, if you wanted to go digging back into the history of it. It's a topic about days of the week and their basic meanings and usages in a whole bunch of different areas. Back in the long ago time, each day had a different meaning, and there was usually either a planetary alignment, which is more of the Greco-Roman time period, or there was a deity attached to each of those days. And a lot of the days that we use today come from the Norse or Celtic region of religion and spirituality. So when I first started on my journey about 20 years ago, one of the first concepts that I came across when you want to start working in intuition and things like that is divine timing or spiritual timing. It depends on what source you were going to as to what name it was. And you can divide this into an unbelievable amount of times, divisions, and styles. There are ones that take you through zodiac timing. There's ones that take you through zodiac hours within a day. There's planetary hours within a day. There are tons of ways to divide time. We'll just be very open with that. But one of the easiest concepts that I can understand, and I still use this stuff today, is the days of the week as periods of time to work different intentions, to work with different meditational skills, or to do different types of mystic practice, whatever practice you choose. And there's a lot of ways to schedule life, and the days of the week is the easiest. It's also the easiest to understand how to work within the barriers of time, applying it to setting intentions, working meditation, etc. Each day back in the ye old times, like I said, there was a planet or a deity, sometimes both, associated with the day, and that energy from that deity is what kind of infused the day, and a lot of that stimulated, worked through, trickled down into our consciousness, into how we have our days named today. So we'll start with the first day of the week, Sunday. Sunday's literally the sun's day. It's the bright star that warms the planet, the one that those of us in the northern hemisphere are really missing right now because it's cold and our days are short. This was a day to work with any energy that you wanted to succeed on. Sunday was a day for success. It was a day for working with masculine energy, especially the divine aspect of masculinity, trying to basically ground what it means to be masculine, what it meant to be a man. This was a really strong day for the male presence. And it's a really good time for an all-encompassing outward type energy. So exercises with healing, with meditation aligned with masculinity or success. You work with energy of strength, protection, but the real big focus on the sun's energy is the masculine energy. So one of the cool things, if you ever work in with the Sabbats, the holidays that I go through randomly, there's 8 of them in a year in the old calendar, and on the summer solstice, which is June 21st, when that lands on a Sunday, you're talking about the solar King's Day. Like, that's the best day to work with masculine energy because you're at the peak of summer, so you're at the peak of the sun's energy. You're also on Sunday, which is the sun's greatest strength day. So it's a really good time to work with that aspect of the divine masculine energy. Going along with that, the colors that you can work with, if you like to work with colors, like if you're doing candle work or you're just the type of person who likes to color code to the day, you want to work with gold and yellow for Sundays. Monday is actually an interesting one because they shortened a word to make it Monday. In the original languages, it was usually referred to as the Moon's Day, and I'm not going to even attempt to say that in the other languages. The direct translation was Moon Day. This is a day to work with the divine feminine. The moon is associated with your subconscious mind, feminine energy, a lot of water movement. So those are things you can work with and work on Mondays. It's really a great day if you're trying to develop your intuition and you're just kind of struggling. Do your heaviest work on Monday. The moon influences that day, and the moon influences your subconscious. So this is a way to really tap into that meditational energy and the intuitive energy. It's also a day, if you are like me and have sleep issues, to do intention setting and rituals associated with encouraging normal, healthy sleep patterns. This is the day to do it, is on a Monday. This is also a day for healing because a lot of physical healing, even when you're doing energy work or if you're going in for medical like surgeries and stuff, working on Sunday for the success energy, but Monday for the healing, a lot of healing goes on in your subconscious mind. And so if you are, looking to work the best success you can, Sunday and Monday are the best days to work healing energy. And again, if you're working with intuitive abilities and it's not your strong point yet and you're trying to really develop it, Mondays are the days to do that. Working with the divine feminine, so doing a full moon on a Monday is like the best way to tap into that super powered feminine energy. And it's a way to help balance. Sometimes, we all have masculine and feminine energy in our bodies. And if they get out of balance, then you start getting into this hostility towards one or the other. Now, being clear, men have a much higher level of masculine energy than women. Women have a much higher energy, feminine energy than masculine. But there's a balance that has to be maintained. Even if their balance looks really weird, it's how your body functions at its peak. And when I say balancing those energies, you're not bringing them into this, you're bringing it into that point where your body is in symbiosis, where you can function with those energies. And so if you work with masculine energy on Sunday, work with feminine on Monday, and it brings you back into alignment. The other thing with Monday, and this ties into one other day this week, is Monday, due to the feminine energy, is tied to fertility. So Monday's a day to plant crops. Monday's another good day to try to start that family. And Monday on Beltane is you're pretty much guaranteed to end up pregnant at that point. The energy of that season is so powerful for fertility, and when you have Monday involved with it, because you have the moon's blessing at that time, yeah, things get real interesting. If you want to work with colors or you're working with that type of practice, You can work with silver, it's associated with the moon, and really any shade of blue associated with water. And that's a way to kind of bring that focus more into your daily life. So now we get into where we start having multiples. Oddly enough, Sunday and Monday, and I don't know why this is, I went back quite a ways, and the planets associated with Sunday and Monday are pretty much the deities associated with those days. From Tuesday on, we get into having more. So Tuesday is actually tied to the energy of Mars. But the name Tuesday has nothing to do with the word Mars, obviously. It comes from the Norse god Tyr. He was a war deity, and the Romans adopted his type of energy to their energy of Mars, the planetary deity they worshipped. So Tyr, through some translation error somewhere along the lines, they started saying Tues. And so we ended up with Tyr's Day, which is Tuesday. It's probably just in the English language getting lazy, to be honest with you, but that's my opinion. Because this is another very, very masculine energy day, Tuesday is also associated with the divine masculine. Tuesday is a day for passion. This is the day to work protection rituals if you do that kind of work. But Tuesday is a day to watch your temper. You're really riding an energy of passion for creativity, passion for your partner, your spouse, passion for your business. But passion, if it's unchecked, turns into aggression. So Tuesday is a very, very intense day of energy, just in general. And passion is that zest for life. It's creating something new. It's putting your heart and soul into whatever it is you're doing. And passion can also be a little bit more amorous if you tap into that version of the energy. But Tuesday is a day to basically keep check on yourself, because you don't want to get too aggressive, because that's never a good thing. But being aggressive and defending your views, defending your business, defending your spouse, that's the energy that goes along with the Tuesday energy. And because, Tuesday's tied to Mars and Tyr, you have the flamey colors. You've got reds, you've got intense oranges, you've got splashes of yellow, and it's just that feeling energetic and feeling alive energy. And so Wednesday is an interesting one because the energy that's associated with it is planetary, but the deity is not what you would think. So Wednesday is tied to the messenger planet of Mercury, the little, in the Greek mythologies, he was a little guy that had the winged shoes. It's an energy of communication, of swift movement. If you want stuff to go fast and you really want to get the ball rolling, Wednesday is the day to start the project or give it a kick in the rear end. Another meaning for Wednesday's name, and this is pretty much how I think how we developed the name Wednesday, because it doesn't make sense otherwise, was Wednesday was back in the time was Odin's day. But Odin went by another name, Woden, W-O-D-E-N. Well, if you said Woden's Day fast enough, it kind of sounds like Wednesday. So, again, I think it's that whole sloppy interpretation thing. But that's where a lot of people believe we got the name for Wednesday, because it has nothing to do with Mercury. But it does have something to do with Woden. So, it's a good time to start new courses of study. Woden or Odin, and I'm probably going to stick with Odin because that's the one I'm familiar with most, is a person who literally sacrificed his eye, one eyeball, so that he could discover all the secrets on the planet. So studying, learning, seeking for knowledge is a huge tie to Wednesday. But Odin also was a patron deity of the diviners, the soothsayers, the people who were looking for the future, trying to understand those secret knowledge things through the runes, through the Ogam, through scrying in lakes and ponds. So Wednesday is another good day to work, or not another, it's the day to work with divination of any form. Speed can be used for manifestation. It can be used to push a project along. Sometimes it's just you need that little oomph, and Wednesday is a good get you up and moving day. And the colors associated with this high energy period of time are the neon and bright colored blues, like the really vibrant blues, and silver, because Mercury is quicksilver. I don't recommend using that metal. It can be very poisonous. And brightest brilliant white, because when you have the brightest white, it encompasses all color, and the speed of light, or the energy of light, is usually white, unless you have filters. So now we move on to Thursday, and Thursday's planet is Jupiter. Cool. But Thursday's name goes back to the Norse again. It's amazing how many of these days we've collected from these guys. Thursday is actually Thor's day, and not the Marvel comic Thor, the ancient deity Thor. A lot of similarities, but a lot more sternness in the original Thor. This is a day of thunder and lightning. This is a day of intense work. This is a day to labor and get things done. This is a day to make your voice heard. It's also a day of prosperity. Jupiter is all about having fun, setting intentions for success, for abundance. Jupiter is very generous with his finances and his time, the planet Jupiter. So this is a time to really tap into that serious aspect if you need it, but also remember to have fun and enjoy life. Jupiter is a guide for a guardian for travelers, and when you work in this positive energy and you share your gifts with the world, Thursday is a good day to do it, because Jupiter will enhance your volunteer time, will enhance any donation that you make that day. But also, if you're working hard, Thor will be there to help boost you, and this is a time to work with your internal willpower, really building that up. But it's also, don't forget to have fun. So Thursday is a day to remember, work hard, but also play hard. Have fun with life is a real big part of that. The colors associated are generally oranges and shades of purple. The ones that are most common are lavender and lilac, so it's a little bit lighter purple. But Friday is a very interesting day. And this one's always made me laugh because of the different names associated with it. Friday is under the influence of passionate Venus, the wonderful planet of love. This is the reason that we use... the reason that we use Friday, I was looking ahead in my notes, is the term Friday is actually from a Norse deity as well. It was a goddess. And the reason I kind of say that there's a lot of names is because there's one part of the Norse spiritual practice that calls this goddess Frigg, Frigg. But majority of people know her, same deity, they just have different names, as Freya. From Freya's day comes Friday. And Freya, Frigg, and Venus all have the same energy. They are the passionate, more feminine, but still very passionate, amorous energy. Watching my language just because of the platforms I'm on. But Frigg and Freya are two names of the same goddess. It really depended on what part of the country you were in as to which deity you were talking about. But they are aligned with Venusian energy, that being graced with love, being graced with beauty. This is a day to work with friendships. A lot of what Venus is known for is her escapades. But the energy that goes along with that is also a friendship thing. It's that bond between brothers and brothers in arms even. Venus is about connection. And so you can work with this energy if you're struggling with like having arguments with friends, or maybe you've had an argument with a friend, and take a Friday, go to coffee. Try to mend that relationship and do it on the day that's made for it, literally. Pick a Friday. And if you are a couple, do a Friday night date night. Set it up so that you have the energy, the blessing of Venus and of Freya to your relationship. It's just the way the planets lined up, and Friday is a really good day for that. Colors associated are colors of the heart chakra. So you have pinks, you have greens. It's the intensity from the heart. Meditations on the heart, meditations on religion, and things like that, and healing, or not religion, relationships, and healing for the heart energy, for the physical heart even, is a good day on Friday. So if you have, you're going in for some heart-related condition, try to schedule it as, and a lot of doctors aren't going to like this, but on Friday is a good day for that, because your success of health is being influenced by the proper celestial energies. So Saturday is the last day in the week, and it's tied to the last planet in the original myths of the planets, because up until I think it was the 1800s, they only could see to this planet. This was the furthest one out they could acknowledge. In alchemy, this is the last planet that we work with, or the first, depending on how you want to look at that. Saturday is tied to the stern father Saturn. This planet's energy will help you bring a subject to an end. You can use Saturn energy to banish a negative energy or influence from your life. So if this is a time to quit a job, set it up for Saturday. If you are kind of in this, Saturn's energy is more for abrupt endings. This isn't for the, it's been nice, I'm really going to miss you. This is for, get me out of here, I'm done. Because the energy of Saturn tends towards the very stern. And as I referenced in alchemy, Saturn is usually the starting point of the processes that will take you to the solar gold. So, but once you reach that, you start back over at Saturn. So it's a beginning and an end in alchemy. And on Saturn's day, it's a good day to do big work. This is a day, like if you're working with alchemy, you start a process and end a process on a Saturday. If you're working with other energies or other projects, Saturday's the day just to end it. You're done with the project, put it up, take a break. And that's the energy that you're working on. You're bringing things to a close with the Saturn energy. The other thing that Saturn, because Saturn takes forever, I didn't mark down the exact years, but Saturn to orbit the sun is like multiple of our years. It is an ungodly long time period. And it was associated back in the ancient times with longevity and health. Because it traveled so long and just kept going, people associated it with basically a form of immortality. But Saturn's energy is also that energy of the stable and the robust, so they associated it with health and wellness. So if you're working to develop strength within yourself, working on your willpower, which is huge, it's working on those energies on Saturdays is the focus for that. The other thing that Saturn's energy, and I said this at the beginning, it's that stern fatherly energy. Saturn works primarily with the masculine, but he's also about what is your role in life? What is your role in the home? So on Saturdays is a good day to look at where you stand in your life. Are you standing where you want to be? Are you being ethical? Are you being moral? Are you standing in your truth? Are you standing in your beliefs? And when you're talking about being in the home, Saturn reminds us all that every person, male or female, you have a role within a home. What is your role? Are you active in that role? Are you grounded in that role? And are you participating to the highest aspect of that role? Saturn tends to get a little hostile with people who want to, well, that's not my job, but really it was. That's your point. That's your purpose in the family. And Saturn energy comes in to say, to really ground you back into your position in the family, in the home, and bring you back into the standing with even in your business. Saturn is there to support you, but this is not a soft father we're talking about. This is the stern father. This is the one that comes in and lays down the law. And as long as you're willing to play your part, Saturn's going to help you. But you cross that line, Saturn tends to get a little grumpy with you. Always stand in your belief. Yes, I 100% agree with that, Serge. And that's the energy of Saturdays. So Saturdays are the days to really look at how you're running your life. Do a weekly check-in. It only takes a couple of minutes to be like, well, did I stand in my truth this week? Well, yeah. Did I stand in my home? Was I doing my part in my household? Well, yes or no. Saturday's the day for evaluations. You go through the whole week. You've got the amazing energy running around through the week. But Saturday is the day for really grounding it in, making sure you're doing your part, and then taking a break. You don't have to work all the time. That's the thing with the two outer planets, Jupiter and Saturn. They are really intense. The energy can be extremely overbearing, but they're also reminding you don't have to be a workaholic. Make sure you get your job done, but also take the break. Jupiter's all about having fun when you're not working. Saturn is like, good job, you can take a break, you've done all your work. So it's kind of a good way to end up a week. And let's see here. I just about closed the wrong window. So the colors you can associate with Saturn and work with on Saturdays are the black, darker shades, and the browns. You're working on grounding, you're working on stability, you're building a foundation, and that's what the Saturdays are for. You're evaluating, you're grounding, you're standing in your truth. And we're not talking about your individualized truth. Saturn looks at the broad picture, so they're looking at absolutes, absolute truth. And so you have this bigger vision of the energy at that point. So if you do energy work or you're doing intention settings, we're coming up to that time of the year where most people are setting their New Year's resolutions. Look at the days of the week. What can you do each of those days to further your intentions? Start with focusing on your intention within that day of the week. So if you're starting a new physical fitness one, working on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are great. Those are all masculine projective days. It's days to keep you moving and active. You're working on pushing a project forward. How can you work with that energy on a Wednesday? If you are trying to develop your intuition, you're trying to work on a little bit more intuitive, subconscious, mystical type work, being an energy healing or whatever, try to focus those on Mondays, because you're getting a little extra boost from the planets and the energy of the week. And a lot of this is a traditional thing where we've put so much focus over the time into these days. And these are the days that we associated with these different energies and different planets. And when you put enough intention into something and you put enough focus onto something, especially over lifetimes and centuries, it starts to develop a little bit of a charge on its own. It's like charging a battery. And so you have these basically week or day of the week batteries that you're tapping into, and it's a way to boost what you're working on. If you are the type of person who likes to use candles, I don't at the moment just because of where I live, light your candles for those different days, for the different colors that are associated, and have your intentions with it, like you're focusing on doing better in this area, so you work with it on those days. And like I said, as we're approaching the new year on the Western calendar, which is January 1st, starts the new year for your everyday life. If you're talking fiscal year, it could be who knows when. A lot of people start working with New Year's resolutions and vision boards. That's fine. I personally think New Year's resolutions are overplayed because most people are really good for the first 2 weeks and then they set it off to the side and forget about it. But if you start to work it instead of taking a full year, this huge, I'm going to have all these great things done by the end of December of 2023, that's a little overwhelming. So if you take and break it down into, on Mondays, I'm going to do this. On Tuesdays, I'm going to do this next piece. And you set up instead of setting these grand, far-reaching resolutions, you break it down into a 7-day period. So on Sundays, I work on this project. On Mondays, I work on this project. And you give yourself those little breakdowns of time, and you just break down your whatever project it is even onto those different days, working with those different aligned energies. You're adding oomph to those intentions. You're breaking it down from something that's just unbelievably huge that you're never going to be able to succeed at, which is why most resolutions don't survive. You're breaking it down into smaller bites where you can work on Sundays to develop that next business idea. On Mondays, you're really trying to understand the feminine energy. And if you're a man, you're working on trying to understand your wife. It's that type of thing. And then on Tuesdays, you're working on like that, you're building up that aggression, you're setting those business meetings, you're going in there hard hitting, you're going to push this bill through, you're going to make this happen. And then on Wednesdays, what is it you can do to speed those goals along? Like look back the first part of the week. Have I gotten everything going? What can I do to help give us a little push? Thursday, take Thursday off, go out to dinner with your friends. Just chill after work. Friday, try to tie Friday into your relationships. How can you be around with your friends? If you're married, how can you build that relationship with your spouse? And then on Saturdays, make sure all your work's done. And then understand, look at where you've accomplished in just 7 days. And take that time to be like, I've done all of this work and now I can relax because I've accomplished it. And then you start over the next week. If you break it down into those smaller points, you'll be surprised how much more you can get accomplished in a year. Have big goals, but then break it down so that you have those smaller bites to work with. This is, like I said at the beginning, this is the easiest form of timing within the metaphysical and mystical community that I have learned to work with. There's a lot more ways you can break down days, hours, it gets chaotic, but this is a simple tool you can throw into your toolbox for setting your intentions and working through really any situation you're working on. And like I said, we're coming up on the new year. Set your big goals, your New Year's resolution, but then break it down into those 7-day periods so you can take a bite-sized piece and work with that energy. And let me know if there's any other ideas that you guys have seen, thought, or experienced with this type of work. If you are new to the channel, if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. If you enjoy this type of information, hop over there and subscribe. This month, I'm challenging myself. I'm doing a video or a live stream every day this month and of December. After December's over, I'll probably drop back down to like a couple times a week because this is a lot. But if you have any ideas, suggestions for future videos, go ahead and let me know what you think, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.